So here's, again, the three sections that cover power series. And so we'll start with 11.8, and I'll give you the definition of power series, and then I'll talk about some of the things of power series that you need to know. So 11.8 power series. Right off in the book, they have the definition that a power series, it's a series, and I think of it as this infinite type of polynomial. So here's the definition though. A power series is a series of the form, so the sum as n goes from 0 to infinity of c sub n times x to the n. C sub n, that is a coefficient, and x sub n, x raised to some power. So I'm going to write that where we have c sub n is or are, I mean there's an infinite number of them, where we have c sub n is a coefficient, and then x is raised to integer powers. I want to say positive integer powers, but you could have x to the 0. So x is raised to whole number. How about that? Whole number powers. Because whole number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are the whole numbers, and so on. So I'm going to write out a few terms here. So I'll have the sum as n goes from 0 to infinity. C sub n x to the n would be c sub 0, whatever the coefficient is, that would have x to the 0 being 1, plus c sub 1 times x to the first, plus c sub 2 times x squared, plus c sub 3 times x cubed, plus c sub 4 times x to the fourth, plus ... continues forever. So this is a power series. The power series I wrote right here is a power series that's centered at 0. So I'll kind of talk about that a little bit today as I do some problems. One example is the one I did yesterday. So I'm going to say this: consider this series, this power series, the sum as n starts at 0 and goes to infinity of x to the n, where the coefficients are all 1. Where the coefficients are all 1s. So this would be the sum as n goes from 0 to infinity of x to the n. When n is 0, that'd be x to the 0, which is 1. When n is 1, it's x to the first. When n is 2, is x squared. When n is 3, is x cubed. When n is 4, it's x to the fourth. So that's what I get. And then I could write, if I like, plus x to the n plus ... goes on forever. Have you seen this before? If I ask that question, it's probably yes. I hope you've seen it before.